What is going on out there, YouTube? I am the Anonymous Prepper. Welcome back to the channel, and it's time, once again. I figured I would do a part 3 to building your bug out bag on a budget. Now, this is getting a little more advanced. And when I say advanced, I mean you're slowly climbing up the ladder. You know, you're starting to progress. Now, you have your bare basics. Now, you're progressing to some better items here. Some options to add to your bag, to switch some things out possibly, depending on your bag size, of course, as well. But it just depends on the situation. Now, this bag I've shown so far is for like a week-long emergency. Like, you have to leave for a week. If there's a hurricane, there's a storm, you know, whatever. You have to go somewhere for a week because something happens. This is just, you know, basically a bug out bag to go somewhere, hold up, and then you can come back in a week. The things you'll have to have. And this stuff's a little more advanced. So, beginning. And I have this as a worst case scenario kind of item per se. That's having, you know, a fire starter. That would be, you know, a basic lighter, matches, a ferro rod with the strikers you can see right there. That way, if per se you have nowhere you can go to stay and hold up, you can build a fire if you need to somewhere. That way you have the option to, you know, stay warm if it comes down to it. The next thing would be your lighting. With a specialty here. If I can get this to turn on. There we go. You can see this has a red light, but the lens comes off for a white light too. And what's nice about this light, it gets very, very bright. And has an emergency flash. And as you can see, this is a Wildtech A1S V2. Really love this flashlight. It's one of my personal favorites. And then you have this, which I showed before, the Nikon N70. And why I like this one so much, though, I can get it to do what it needs to. You can see it twists. It's like one of those military-style flashlights, but it is bright. And this one here is like around 15 bucks. The Wildtech, it varies around 20 bucks. You have to look for the sales, folks. That's the key. Now, another option here. This one, I can't remember where I got this one. It might have been Top Hatter, I believe. If you guys remember that place. You have 3 lights, which is pretty cool. And I like this feature. See, that light's on, but now shut it off. These rotate individually. So you could have multiple sources of light. And this was only... it was only a couple of bucks, I remember. They sell them on Amazon still. You can find them. Just look up triple light, flashlight, and it should come right up. Now, the third option. Now, this one, I have to watch with the name because where I got it from, which, you know, people are going to disagree. It's a Chinese-made item, but it has a name you don't want to have on an item, per se. But it has, if you look inside there, I know it's really hard to see it, but this is actually a stun gun. And it's a flashlight. It is a stun gun flashlight. And this thing is getting to my next group of items, which is defensive tools. This here is, you know, a 2-in-1 here. You got your light, and you got a defensive tool, which is something else you need to have if you're going to be out for a week. Another option here. Pepper spray. Must-have item. And this was only about $6, and then I'm trying to remember back to Amazon. I believe a set of 3 was on sale at one point for $11. Don't quote me on that, but put it this way: around $10, you're gonna get at least 2. And I always say to buy at least, you know, 2 of them, have a backup. And like this one, very small and light. Like, look, you can see in my hand here, it's very, very small. Throw it right in your go bag and have it as a distance defense item. You know, just something handy in case, you know, you have to deal with somebody who is not being compliant is harassing you and all that jazz. We know the drill here when it comes to bugging out. Okay, now the next item is also defensive, but this one, people might get cheesy about it, saying, oh, you don't need something like that. This is, to me, more of an option. Me personally, I like having it on my bag. These guys. I found these on Amazon as well. They were on sale for $8. If I can get one of them out. Yeah, look at that. And granted, it's a cheap steal. It's a cheap item, but still. It's strong enough to where if you had to beep somebody or, throw this at somebody, you have 9 of these. You strap them onto your pack and you can use them for something. And I know people are going to say, oh, you're not a ninja. It's the idea of if you have experience with using these, practicing whatever, and, you need to get somebody away from you and you have to hit them in the leg, per se, this is a way to do it. And the last defensive item for upgrading your bag a bit, and this is a personal choice for me. And no, I'm not Rambo, and I'm not the Terminator here. This is a Cold Steel Marauder. And I taped on it some sticky tape, grip tape, just so I have better control of the knife. I have 2 of these. This one's my cleaner one, but you can use this for bushcrafting outdoors, chopping wood. It's also meant more so for fighting, but I have tested this pretty good, and it can do the work in the outdoors. It really can. It's a nice blade. I can't remember the specs. Just look up Cold Steel Marauder. It'll come right up. It's a nice blade. And even without the grip tape, the handle's still pretty good to hold. I just like the grip tape because I have better control with it. It is a very, very nice knife. Now, let's see here. What else do we got? Ah, yes. These two right here. Now, in my first video, I believe I mentioned these about emergency blankets. Now, advancing. Say you have one of these in your bag right now. Bare basics. You bought one of these at the store. Now you're progressing. Now, you want to have, because these weigh practically nothing, at least 3 of them. I would go with 5. Only because one's going to give you coverage from the rain. A second one's going to provide you wind protection. A third one's going to give you, basically like 3/4 of a shelter. Now, if you have 5, you're going to have basically a full shelter. It's nothing much, but it's going to help. So, if you know how to use one of these like I have, these are very, very handy. They will definitely do the job. And speaking of these, another item here. Tape. Could be duct tape, could be clear tape. This is a double-sided sticky tape, just to have for a variety of uses, but always have some tape in your bag. If it's electrical tape, duct tape, sticky tape. Something you can use, like with these, you can tape these together as well to help give you some extra strength if you don't have the next item, which is paracord. Now, in my first video also, I mentioned this. Paracord, any bug out bag, you want to have a spool of paracord. Or at least, a standard, a bunch of it. Like, you know what I'm talking about. It comes in a bundle of it. It's like, I think, 50 feet, I'm pretty sure. It might be 75, but it's a bundle amount of paracord. Enough to where you can have about, my recommendation, go 100 feet. Or, if you can't afford that, start off with 50. It depends on what you're working with. But you have to build up your collection to, stock up your bag and advance it. Let's see, where else do we want to go to here? Well, this one here, just came across it. If you're out in the woods during the spring, summer, and fall, you're going to deal with bugs. This was like 50 cents. I know it sounds cheap, but this will protect you from bugs. This is one item everybody should have in their bag, regardless. But if you're advancing, you haven't gotten this yet, definitely get one. You gotta have it. Next item. I'm not going to pull this one out because it's like 4 pieces, but a cooking stove. Now this one can hold wood. You can put charcoal in this. You can use, I believe you can fit a sterno in here too, which is another item. But I'll get back to that here in a second. But you want to have a stove. You can get one of the small little square ones or jet boil. But we're starting off here with the basics here. Like advancing up the ladder. This stove I got off of Temu. It was like 13 bucks. I haven't tested it out in the fire yet, having an actual fire in it, but it's sturdy. It is a good quality, sturdy stove. It'll definitely do the job. And let's see what else. Oh yeah, the sterno. Now, you gotta have fuel. Now, the bag I'm talking about, excuse me, the bag I'm talking about, this is for going out for a week and coming back if there's an emergency. So you need to have a way to cook, you know, have some heat if you need it. Sterno or canned gel fuel. Dollar Tree sells their brand for $1.25 still. If you need to get some, get some. This is an option though. The only thing I don't like is the weight. But you can use, you know, your what's it called? Your butane fuel, or I cannot think of its name right now. You know what I mean though. There's how many kinds of fuel? Propane. You can get a little propane canister too. Use one of those. But personally, I like just to have one of these because I have a couple other ones too. This one, all you have to do is get some tinder, put it in here, and add some wood. It'll start right up and you're good to go. Watch a bunch of videos about it. You can see how easy it is to do it. Okay, the next item, which, you know, some people may disagree on this one, but if your bag is advancing, you want to pack more of these compressed towels. Or you could even go with, you know, paper towels. But you want to have, you know, extra ability to clean yourself. So I'd recommend a few more of these. This part, a little short, but, you know, paper towels. You could always use paper towels. Or compressed towels. Okay, now advanced stuff a little bit more. First item. Your good old phone charger cord, which works with a variety of flashlights. And also power banks, which is the next item here. Okay. Now, years ago, when I got into prepping, and I want to talk about this one specifically, like, power banks just started becoming a thing. Now, and you can see right here, here's the plug. Where it is, yeah, right here. You could plug in and charge your phone with this. But also, this is a heater. I haven't used this in a while. I can get it to work. Yeah, there it goes. But this is also a hand warmer heater. And what's nice about this is if you're having a cold night and you have this as your power bank and you put it on the lowest setting, it lasts about 16 hours. If there's a chill in the air, I wouldn't recommend doing this in super cold weather. But if there is a chill in the air and you're trying to get it to go away and warm your hands and your feet up, definitely get a pack of these. They always come in a pack of 2. There's the info on it. And these things are great. They really, really are. Very handy to have one. But, get back to that here in a minute. I don't play around with that too much. Other power banks. Now, here is the bare bones basic. We have here, and we all recognize this. We know the brand. They sell these in Walmart, any store you could think of. They have them all. And this item is a heavy-duty power bank. It's portable. Plug it into your outlet, charge it all day. You can get about 3 full phone charges with this, which is very nice. Or, you know, charge your flashlights. Then you have also these two. Now, this guy here is the one everybody sees. It has a compass built into it, which don't rely upon that compass. That thing is not that good. My thing is this. Now, this thing has, if I can get it open, bear with me. Okay, we have 2 USBs and, if it would focus, there we go. As you can see, it has 2 USBs and the charging port. Also has flashlight. Very handy item. This one, they go for around like 10 to 15 bucks. If you're going to start off with a power bank, I'd recommend this one because of this. Also on the top here, the solar. It's not very powerful out in the sun, but if you're outside in the sun all day or somewhere where there's, an area of sun coming through and you need to charge up your power bank because you don't have access to any other type of power or solar panels, getting to that here in a minute, you can do it with this. It takes a couple of days to get a full power bank, but you can charge it for like, say, 8 hours, and you'll get like 15% power, maybe 20, enough to charge your phone up a little bit. Or if you need to charge the light up, same concept. This one here is also a power bank. This one I got off of Temu. This one also has, I haven't played around with this one too much. I'm trying to find the button, or I think this is it right here. Yeah, there we go. I'm trying to remember. There's a way to turn these lights on. Yeah, there it goes. You have to hold it in for a few seconds. But see, it has a flashlight also built into it. The one thing I don't like about these, at times you have to hold the button in for too long, which is just a personal thing, but it's nothing else. You can see it has 2 USBs, charging ports, 2 kinds. Your Type-C, and then I can't remember what the other one's called. But you know what it is. You can tell by the shape. But yeah, you got to have power. These are some options to add to your bag as you're progressing. When you're on a tight budget especially, like, this is only 50 cents. These carabiners here, which, they're like 10 for $1. Now these, I also wanted to mention about these. These are just to help you hang like small little items. Like if you have a small lantern, this will work for that. This is not for heavy duty use. It's more for like, oh, I got this, I need to hang this up. I got to hang up this cooking spoon, or I got to hang up this rope and use this to have, this to hang here. Just small little things. And then you can progress up to bigger ones, which in my next video, I'll get into more advanced stuff, because this is just, still bare bones basics, but you're going up into the intermediate category a little bit. And the last item. Now this one I did a video on a while ago. This is from Temu as well. Now this one, some people talk smack on Temu, which is fine, whatever floats your boat. I'm not one to judge here, but this is a foldable solar panel. And what's nice about this, I really need to get a workbench. It'd be nice if I didn't live in an apartment. Bear with me. But you can see here it has a USB port built into it. But this has a very good benefit. You have this out in direct sunlight, and this is not based on, what Temu has said. This is based on what I've actually done. When you charge this outside in direct sunlight, you can see an average of about 15 to 19% charge. Now it varies. It depends on the sunlight. If you have daylight, you will get the ability to charge as well, but it depends on how bright it is outside. But this does work. I have 10 of these. I have 1 in each of my bags, which is why I mentioned this in this video. This is something that you can use to charge small solar generators, which I have a couple of those, or just one of these, or this. Flashlights. It works for all that. But the best way, and I had somebody ask me this a couple of days ago, will this charge your phone directly? Yes, but do not do that. What I recommend, and it also helps out with your phone charging faster, use one of these right here. Use a power bank. Charge this with this. That way, the solar gets the power into this. Then you just plug it into your smartphone, you're ready to go. But yeah, that's a few more items here on building a bug out bag on a budget. And this is in the moderate category. We're slowly going up and up and up the ladder. But this just gives you an idea. But I am the Anonymous Prepper, guys, and I am out. Don't mind my cat yapping away. I'm out.